Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Terror Crave. Jason and I are here as always. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. A little bit of rumbling outside. We have been getting a lot of storms, man, a lot of flooding.
We have been, and I'm 2 hours away from you, but yes, got a lot of flooding up in here in this area as well. Storms, storming. But at least the good thing about it is it cools it down afterwards.
Yeah.
It's been really hot, my friend.
Yeah. Well, it's summertime. It's summertime.
Yeah. It is summertime.
And summertime is a good time for releases.
Summertime is a good time for releases. Guys, we have a great episode tonight because we are going to talk about, as Jason just insinuated, Nope, the new film. You've heard us talk about that a couple of times in previous episodes. Nope, the new film by Jordan Peele is coming out. It will be released next week, actually, of the day of recording from today. And we here at TerrorCrave are huge fans of Jordan Peele.
Yeah, man.
His two previous films, Get Out and Us. Get Out, Oscar-winning film, of course. He won the Oscar for the screenplay, I believe. He's written and directed both of these films, and now his third film, Nope, is coming out, and it centers on aliens.
Yeah,
UFOs.
which is that's pretty awesome because there's not a lot of horror movies that deal with aliens. There are some good sci-fi. I guess is that what you would call sci-fi? But it's just like
I would, sci-fi for sure. But I think there's some. I think though there's a difference, right? And kind of what you're saying, and what Alex. And then let me set like Independence Day to me is purely sci-fi, action adventure.
No horror at all. Same to me, but a good movie. A
very
great
good movie. Yes. So there's those alien movies that are like that. You know what I mean? That are definitely creepy and terrible things happen, but not really a horror film.
Right.
Now, but then there are those sci-fi movies that do, to me, fall into the horror genre. You know what I mean?
Step across the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Nope, I believe will. Obviously, he does the horror movies. Nope, I believe will be the UFO subject, as you said.
Do you think he will? Horror. Do you think it'll be more scary than it is along the line? Like, take Signs. I wouldn't consider that a horror movie, but a great movie.
It is a good movie. I kind of would differ with you on that one. That's kind of more of a. I mean, there's some scary things, man. The cornfield out there when he's in the. There's some horror. There's some scary aspects. Maybe it's not horror.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. And but the cornfield scene alone when he's out there, I can just imagine the leg moving out back in the cornfield and just there's things that happen in that film. But I would, to your point. Yeah, but I wouldn't call it a horror, I guess.
I'll give you a sci-fi thriller. I'll call it a sci-fi thriller.
Go. That's a good happy medium. We'll find. Yeah. Indeed. So what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, as you haven't picked up on by now, is some of our favorite sci-fi horror films. And I don't know. My list actually might, in your opinion, contain some sci-fi thrillers. You know what I mean?
I have a few that I would call like a sci-fi thriller. I wouldn't call them a horror movie though. They Live with Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
You remember that? So I
totally remember that.
I consider that like a sci-fi movie, but I don't even know if I'd call that a thriller. Action, I guess.
I would put that more. I think that's everything. I think John Carpenter threw everything into that film. I mean, that's definitely got some of the horror aspects to it. People look pretty, when you put the glasses on, the way the aliens look. But I think you might be right. And it's also more of a social commentary.
Yeah.
Which actually a lot of horror films are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a roundabout way. Get Out and Us both were, now that we're talking about Jordan Peele. But but with that, Cameron, or not James Cameron, John Carpenter had I guess I call it
with that one. No, I understand what you're saying as far as like the subliminal messages and stuff like that. The glasses, you put them on and it's, follow, don't ask questions, stuff like that. And and that was kind of a big deal back at that time too, because people thought they were putting in subliminal messages in the movies.
Yep.
And there was one that they shot little clips of like the refreshments or something. That was like a proven thing that they were doing that.
Oh
And
yeah.
then even now, like you look at some of the restaurants, the way that they write their names, there's like another meaning in it or whatever. Or Tostitos, the T in the middle is the two guys. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like now it's like, oh,
exactly.
that's funny, but Roddy Piper, he broke the code, man.
He broke the code. Yes,
Yeah,
R.I.P. Roddy Piper, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but they live out. That's interesting. But actually, in some of my research, I did. I think I don't know. I think they live with probably, and also John Carpenter's kind of the horror director.
yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean.
yeah.
So I think they live might because of the auteur that it came from, that it might fall into horror.
Well,
You know what I
let's
mean?
since we're talking about John Carpenter, I think I know what your number one's going to be. I think we should go ahead and talk about that one because I do
Fantastic.
consider that a horror movie.
Yes, yes. And then we're talking about The Thing.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, I didn't really, guys, and Jason, maybe I came to this show unprepared. I didn't really put number one, two. I haven't listed my films in order.
No, 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 no. We didn't have
Oh,
to.
okay,
But
good, good.
if I'm the ones that I'm thinking of, and you may have ones that I'm not even thinking of, but
Yeah,
I was thinking of a couple days ago. I was like, I bet Lee's favorite like alien thing is The Thing.
I would agree. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of all genres. You know what I mean? It really is. The Thing is a great film, but
Yeah,
definitely a sci-fi horror flick. I've talked about that before. Just the paranoia that everyone has, not knowing who the Thing is. Obviously, it's got my boy Kurt Russell in the film.
yeah.
It's just really, really good. And, The Thing was a remake of another film from when the black and white movie back in the
I
50s.
I do remember that, but I've never seen that one.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I didn't know that at the time. You may have been the one that told me that it was like a remake.
yeah. It was a black and white film back in the day. I've never seen it either, but that's what it was. And The Thing is one of my all-time favorite films, just really in general, definitely in the horror genre. But it's just so good, so well done. And
Yeah.
it is, and that might be surprising that it is one of my favorite films because that one has a lot of body horror in it. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm not a
All of
huge
the
fan of that.
mutations.
Yeah, of all the mutations and body mutations. That's just something I'm not really, as you guys know who listen, I don't get down with it. But I guess I just, whatever. I just love that movie so much that I ignore that part of it and keep
Oh
going.
yeah.
It's great, man. I love it.
Well, I'll tell you, like another one to me that I have to mention it because it's a cult classic and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Have you ever like watched? I haven't even watched the whole movie, but it's just like a cult thing. So
I saw that movie back probably a few years within it coming out. You know what I mean? I saw it I saw all my good movies back in the day. My Uncle Charles's house back down in North Carolina. That's where I saw it. That is a cult classic. I think I actually watched the whole movie, if I'm not mistaken. The people get turned into cotton candy, and
yeah,
all of that stuff, and then the shadow puppet. Everybody's looking at the shadow puppets. They're all in awe, but then all of a sudden the shadow puppet eats the
yeah.
people. Yeah,
Did
it's really good. It's comedy. It's a comedy also, though.
Did you think it was scary at all back then, or just kind of like a cheesy type?
No, I didn't think it was
Yeah,
scary. I didn't. The clowns. Now, if the clowns had not looked so, if the clowns had been people like dressed up, or you know what I mean, then that I
yeah,
think would have been probably a little bit scarier. But the fact that they were just like, I don't know, in costumes and stuff
yeah.
like that, it kind of took a little bit out of it for me as far as being scary. But it's a fun movie for sure.
I almost bought those. You can buy like the mask and everything now, and it looks exactly like the movie. And I thought about getting those to put at the Force of Fear, and I was like, well, I kind of like my stuff scary,
A
but it
little,
would be
little
cool to
scary.
have them setting out there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
People would know who they are, but
Yeah,
uh,
I, I'm going to throw one actually that was actually I felt was scary. I remember when I first saw the preview for this movie, I didn't even realize it was an alien movie. Um, that's how it came across as like more of a possession or just ghost or scary film. Dark Skies.
oh yeah,
That movie with Kerry Russell, and also Josh Hamilton, who plays the guy from he's in The Walking Dead now, the one who's after I can't remember his character's name, but he's in The Walking Dead as the guy running this, the second in charge of the city of the Commonwealth and all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, great movie. They have a nice little twist at the end, which you haven't seen it. I'm not, or if you've seen it, but if the audience hasn't seen it, I'm not going to ruin it because it's a great twist there that I didn't see coming actually. And I usually pride myself in being able to pick up on where it is, what's going on, except for the doctor, except for the changing names. When I made a few weeks ago, that was pretty bad.
When I watched this one, I actually thought it was about possession at first, and like after not too long into the movies, it dawned on me because I was like, man, this isn't like demon stuff. And then I remember, oh, Dark Skies, the name. Then it dawned on me. I was like, dag on it. But I watched it. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty good film. One that I actually haven't gone back to revisit. Well, so when I was putting this together and thinking of the films, I was like, I actually need to go back and rewatch that one, or else like it'd be a good one for me and Quinn to watch.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one. I'll tell you one that when I first watched it, I thought it was a little bit scary. Was Fire in the Sky, because it was based on a true story. You know what I mean? Like all of that really happened. Now I know with movies they exaggerate a little bit, but it doesn't matter how much they exaggerate it. Like his story, you can read his actual, like his commentary of what happened.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a little something about Fire in the Sky.
And there was a bunch of like woodchucks and stuff. So we're from Culpeper. I was like, that could happen like right now.
I know, right? No, I saw that. It came out in 1993. I was in Up with People. Came out in the spring of 1993. I was in Up with People, staying at a host family's house. I somehow got to go to the movies that night, and we went and saw Fire in the Sky. And dude, I'm putting it out there, that movie freaked me the frack out. It really did. I mean, it actually, I'm putting it out there. I had a hard time sleeping that night after I watched that movie.
Was this right before X-Files? I mean, I almost think that this kind of inspired X-Files in a way.
I would think that when it came out, that X-Files already had to be in production because X-Files came out in the fall of 1993.
Okay.
So, and this movie came out in the spring of 1993.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would think that X-Files would have already been in it. But shout out to, you mentioned the X-Files, Robert Patrick, who's in it, who later goes on to play Doggett later on in the later seasons of the X-Files. But no, Fire in the Sky, man, it's freaked me out so bad. I have actually not watched it since 1993.
I haven't either. I don't know if it's that bad, but I can remember for the longest time, like just if I was going down a back road somewhere, I was kind of like looking up, you know what I mean? And if there was a light, a star over here that, it moved. So, I'm slowing down and kind of looking at it or whatever. But I remember that was a good movie.
It really got me when they showed at the very end, they flashed back to show exactly what had happened to him and where he found himself.
Yeah, because they were showing little things, right? Little like flashes or whatever.
It's been so long. I think that maybe they did throughout, but at the very end, near the end of it, we finally get to see his whole ordeal that he had gone through. You know what I mean? So and it was crazy.
You're a Tool fan too, right? The band Tool. Like Tool, A Perfect Circle. So Tool has a song called Rosetta Stone.
Okay.
And if you listen to that song, first of all, it's a hell of a jam, man. I love it. I listen to it almost every day because it's in my list or whatever.
Okay.
But it's all about an alien abduction. It's this guy that just a normal guy, and like one of the things he doesn't know why he was chosen to give this message. He's older now, but he was chosen to give the message, and he's thinking about it. He's like, I didn't even graduate high school, man. Why did they choose me? And then like the way that they want him to tell the story about what happened, and he kind of, the part where the song goes into where he tells the story is really good. Like, it's all this stuff like, strapped down, eyes closed, all this stuff. And then like the final thing he says is, God damn, shit to bed. So, which is one of my favorite seasons by Mr. Captain Spaulding himself. But, that's what I thought of was Captain Spaulding. I was like, oh, he probably really did because he was probed by the aliens. So anyway, I guess, I don't know, I might have to edit that whole part out right there, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Thought we were just talking off camera, man.
No worries, no worries. Now,
Yeah.
you've probably seen this movie, and I have not, but it's pretty good. And I think that if we're talking about sci-fi horror films, that we need to talk about it. The Fourth Kind.
I have seen that. I don't remember much about it, but I'm not saying it was bad. It was a decent uh sci-fi type horror movie. It was decent.
I've heard really good things about it. I actually, again, going through this thing, thinking about the movies, I was like, that's something I missed out on
Yeah.
somehow. I need to go back and actually watch that one.
That
Because
is
again, I've
like
heard really
alien
good,
abduction, and
based
it's
on
got
true
a couple of,
stories.
yeah, scary parts, just like what we were just talking about. Like, you know, you'll be tense
Yeah.
in some of the scenes.
Well, all right. Well, that's something I have to definitely go check out.
I want to watch that one again too, man. There's
Yeah.
a couple of them I've thought of that I want to go back and watch. Um, if I say Stephen King, what movie would you think of?
For aliens,
Yeah, for yeah,
I guess the closest thing that I would come up with Mist.
with well, I think The Mist was like a government type thing, but
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
there's a couple of them. So
Oh, Tommy
Dreamcatcher,
Knockers.
Tommy Knockers,
Yeah, but that was a
Dreamcatcher.
made for TV movie though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah,
Dreamcatcher. No, but Tommy Knockers it's a movie. It's a sci-fi horror film for sure.
right. Yep,
Um, and Tommy Knockers and Dreamcatcher. I did see that in the theater.
yep,
I thought Dreamcatchers had a great cast actually.
yeah.
People who have gone on now to become bigger stars than they were
Mhm.
then even. Um, I liked it because it was about a group of friends in a cabin.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good movie.
yeah. It wasn't bad.
You liked it? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I mean, it's a Stephen King movie. I'm gonna watch all his movies anyway, but it wasn't as bad as like the new Stand, or not the Stand, but the Dark
Firestarter?
Tower.
Oh, the Dark Tower. The Dark Tower.
Yeah, yeah, which
Yeah.
was terrible. How can you show that in one movie? That's just anyway. But it Pennywise is an alien.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Pennywise is an alien. Like that came to Earth and every so often comes up.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Where is that realized, or where is that like the
It's in
whole?
I think in the what we could call like chapter 2. Like they'll talk about it in the movie.
Really?
Like where he came from. When the one daggone the character that still lives in Derry, and he
Yeah,
lives work well, he's always at the
the
library or whatever.
library.
I don't know if he works there. Maybe he does.
Oh, he's a
But
librarian there.
when he gives the origin of it, in that one he's holding the old pot from the Native Americans or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's kind of telling the story. If you like when he first talks about it, it came to Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
That's I
like Stephen
missed.
King's even said that yes, that it's an alien life form that came.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, that part I totally missed out on. You're teaching
I
me a little
like
something
sliding
right
that one
now.
in. I
I
like
like
sliding
it.
that one
Nice
in
work.
there.
Well, then damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would going back a little bit to an older flick. And again, you just rocked my world talking to me about it being an alien. I had no clue. So thanks for teaching me that. For learning me that today. Um, I'm gonna go back a little bit. This one actually had a remake in the '80s also, which we talked about not too long ago with remakes. Blob.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
That's
like the
definitely an
original
alien life
better.
form. You did?
Yeah, I like the old one better, I think.
The black and white one with Steve
Yeah.
McQueen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess just because that was one like how you talk about going down to your families, to your uncle and them in North Carolina. It was kind of like that for me going to my mother's aunt's house when I was young, and that's where I watched like Trilogy of Terror and stuff like that, The Blob, all of
Okay.
those along that line. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just like you know, because I watched it down there or whatever. But
Right.
I
No, I
mean, the
mean, it
newer
holds
one
a
was
special
good
place in
too.
your heart. The newer one was a little bit more, obviously, a little more graphic, of course, with things they showed. It was a little definitely more gory. But I think the first one is really good also. Like to your point, I've seen
Mhm.
that movie and I enjoyed that movie. But the Blob, definitely either one, if you like the remake in the '80s, that's probably prime for another remake, actually. I mean, when you think about it, there probably, I'm sure, over the next few years will be another Blob out somehow. But no, both very good flicks, and I was definitely consider that a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah.
Staying back in that genre, I got to go with another remake, which they've had multiple remakes of it. But my favorite of all the remakes was the second remake. I'll just say the
Donald
movie
Sutherland.
as opposed to keep saying remake. Yes, Donald Sutherland,
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, Invasion of the
Fantastic.
Body Snatchers.
Fantastic,
Yes.
man. I loved it.
Yes.
And that same one, I think anybody that is our age or older, that iconic scene with Donald Sutherland where, at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just, oh man, they got him because he was you loved that character. But I agree. What was the one that didn't have the name Invasion of, but it was pretty much what
It
was
was called
that?
Invasion, which with Nicole Kidman. Is that the one
Nicole
you're talking
Kidman.
about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one was actually not bad either, but I mean, it wasn't,
No.
I like any of those type of films where the aliens are slowly taking over and things like that. So, and then the people could take, so I enjoyed that one too. I know it didn't do well, wasn't critically loved, but I enjoyed that one. Actually, all of the remakes have not been, even the one they had, was it called just Body Snatchers or I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
with Forrest Whitaker. He was a
yeah.
general. It took place
Yep.
in the army camp.
Mm-hmm.
That one was actually pretty good too. That came out in the 90s. That one was I think that was called just Body Snatchers, maybe. But it was also
I knew they
on
changed the name of a couple of them, but they were the same movie. They just changed a couple things on them.
And one that was very similar to Body Snatchers, but it was called something else that came out in the 90s, Puppet Masters. Also Donald Sutherland.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't think about that.
You know what I'm talking about? The one where they would latch onto your back or something like that and take over. They didn't create a new body like the Body Snatchers did, but they basically would latch on, and then that's what they called it, like Puppet Masters. You know what I mean?
Well, see that one. I went to watch the movie Puppet Master with the little puppets. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And it was that movie, and I kind of got mad, so I turned it off.
Oh, you never did finish it?
No.
Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully, I think it was called. Now I have to find out. Make sure I'm not telling you guys in the audience the wrong. The Puppet Masters. It was called the Puppet Masters. Yeah, it was that. It was based on a book by Robert Heinlein. So have you ever seen that? It was actually not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, it is. It's got Donald Sutherland. It is a variation on the Body Snatchers film. You know what I mean? But it's like instead of like
he had the beard and everything. Donald Sutherland. I mean, is that weird that he's in a movie that's kind of like it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's not fantastic. It's not a fantastic film. Came out in 1994.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other puppet, that one was and I saw that back. Gosh, I think 1994. So Richard Rutherford and I watched that movie.
You're showing your age, man.
I am. But yeah. So, what are your turn, man? What's another good one?
Well, I was just gonna say there's another one that has been remade a couple of times, War of the Worlds.
Yes. What did you think about the War of the Worlds? Steven Spielberg directed War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, I liked it. It's probably one of the only Tom Cruise movies I like.
Really?
I will say that one of the only ones that I've watched. I haven't watched. I wasn't a Tom Cruise fan,
right?
And I know, like I watched Mission Impossible, stuff like that, and of course, Interview with the Vampire. We've talked before. I've never watched Top Gun, even though I want to now because I hear Top Gun 2 was fantastic. Yep. I never watched Cocktail. I didn't watch Risky Business till I was probably 30. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, just because it came on or whatever, and it was a decent movie. I mean, I don't know. He's a good actor. I like him. The Scientology thing's a little bit odd, but
yeah, you got to give it to him though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still rocking and rolling, and a lot of his other counterparts from the '80s are still acting, but they're not leading.
His best character to me is Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder.
That was awesome. Yes, that was awesome. And it was called Body Snatchers, 1993. It was Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 78, Body Snatchers in 93, and then the Invasion in 2007.
Okay.
So the next one will just be called the
Snatcher.
or Snatcher, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Would you throw Predator on this list?
I would say Predator would fall into a sci-fi action adventure.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I don't think it's horror.
Yeah.
But I guess it is men being stalked in the woods, though. I mean, and being killed pretty gruesomely.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so maybe
there. Once they got into newer times like now, and you have the Alien versus Predator, then they're mixing it in with Alien, which I think may be the best if you're going to call it a horror, like Alien horror movie. I think Aliens has to be the best, if not next to the best.
Aliens.
See, why do you have to get complicated like that?
Or Alien.
Alien. I think
Okay.
Alien, the original one,
yes.
And I love the other ones too. 2, 3, 4. What is it? 5 or 6 of them. But the original one was scary, man. Oh my gosh.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
And then
I like that movie, man. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was a good prequel.
I liked it. I liked the second one.
Yes.
Even better.
Yeah. What was that called?
That one flopped, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really a good.
Yeah, but that's when they
movie.
Like introduced like the xenomorph, like a whole lot more of it running through there. And I like that one probably better, actually.
Yeah. And I can't remember what the sequel to it was called. But I thought it was really good. That's when I saw Prometheus actually in the I saw both of them in the theater, actually, Prometheus and the second one.
I remember buying the action figure for Prometheus, the other race that was there, the big tall people.
Oh yeah.
Like I bought a couple of their toys just to get for one of the kids one time and let them open it. And now I wish I had it still in the package.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Prometheus was actually called the sequel that was Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant, yes.
So they and that's and the studio actually made Ridley put Alien in the title of it so people would have an eye, and then it still didn't do that great. It was because it was destined. It was supposed to have a third film. It was supposed to be his whole little trilogy.
Yeah,
prequel trilogy. But
well, what do you think of the original Alien? Did you think that was a scary movie?
I'll say something about the Alien movie. I was so scared of that movie before I actually even saw it.
From previews or just what people had
from
said?
My older cousins coming home from the theater and seeing it, and and my aunt just talking about how scary and what happens to the dude, and to them it was scary. I mean, it was really scary, and I guess nobody to have that shocking scene. That's one of the most shocking scenes in cinema. Now everybody knows about it.
No CG back then.
To not have any expectation of that, what was going to happen, had to be fantastic. There's a movie, and I thought about this a little bit ago when you mentioned, and I'm sorry, we're kind of going off as we always do off the alien territory a little bit, but still in there. You mentioned the Donald Sutherland scene with him screaming and the alert. So, and that always reminds me of the first time I actually saw that was before I actually saw the actual movie in a movie called Terror in the Isles.
Yes.
Where they showed nothing but the scariest scenes from movies. And I remember watching that with me and my cousins were all sitting there one night on the couch and on the floor, and we put Terror in the Isles in. And there's no relief in that because there's nothing but scary scene after scary scene after scary scene.
Yep. Hey, same thing. That's the first time I ever saw that scene, and it made me want to watch the movie after that.
Yeah, there were so many movies that I saw that within.
You remember that little
to watch?
What was it? A pug that ran around with the man's head on? That was freaky.
The bum and he had a dog, and I guess they had fallen asleep together. And so, when he went to sleep, the pods created you, so they got confused and mixed up the dog.
Because he was running around.
Yeah.
That was crazy freaky.
Yes,
man.
It was. And I think that's one of the scenes they showed. But Alien, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think the Alien scene is in Terror in the Isles.
I'm sure they did. Are you talking about the chest burster?
Yeah, the chest bursting scene. Yeah. That's the scene I'm talking about. That scene right there was so surprising, and it's one of the scariest scenes. I actually never saw Alien until I would say from beginning to end. I've seen until like probably within the past like 10 years.
Yeah.
In the latter part of 10 years ago is when I actually watched it from very beginning to the very end. I've seen
Yeah.
so many scenes throughout my years, and I could have pieced it together, but I wanted to actually watch it from very beginning. Very good movie, very good movie. I would say that's, even though I saw Aliens in the theater,
Yeah.
down in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I I was actually scared after I saw that movie.
That was where she landed on the prison thing,
No,
right?
that's Alien
That
3.
that's oh yeah, because the little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Aliens is with Newt.
That's right.
And Michael Bean's character.
Yeah.
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 So my point was Aliens was a bigger budgeted. I think that's scary too, but it was more of an action oriented adventure. You know what I mean? Sci-fi action adventure. That that's really kind of more in that realm of while Alien is more of a scary horror.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, take a step back and now tell me, who was the sexiest alien?
I would have to go with Species.
Species. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Natasha, what is her name?
Yeah. I don't know, but I watched that movie a lot.
I don't know, but
I don't even know what it's about.
Oh yeah. I saw that one. Yes, I actually like Species. That kicked off a whole.
Yeah, there's tons of those now, man.
Yeah, I only saw the first two, maybe three.
I think I watched the second one.
Natasha Henstridge.
Okay.
Because the second one had her in it.
Yeah,
and actually some characters from the first movie also.
But she was like a good person in the second one, right?
Yeah, they had cloned her, and she was like,
because it was a guy that was, or whatever. Yeah, but I watched the second one. Then after that, it was, I don't know how many there are, but there's a bunch of those now.
I think it was probably like 4.
Okay.
You know, and so, but I liked the first Species. It was pretty good. Good film. And like I said, he watched a bunch of times. Yes, it was very lots of crazy scenes in that film. But no, that was good. That was good. Something else that was good. I don't know if people consider these scary. I would say they probably would be, and it's relatively newer films. The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place.
Yeah, man, that's hella scary, man. There's some really. I mean, just when they're in one, the part where she's in the bathtub giving birth.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's just like, oh man, you just get so stressed for her.
Oh, for sure.
And how crazy is that, man? You got to be quiet, and you're giving birth to a kid, and you're going to have this baby that, and they're making part 3 to that now, by the way. They are making a part 3. But they even showed like the guy, the father from the first one in part 3. So I guess it's more of like just like flashbacks or something like that. Because remember the second one, I think it had some flashbacks of him.
The second one had him in it in the first 10 or 15 minutes. It showed us exactly how that town got attacked.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And that was a pretty stressful scene right there. I'm going to bring up one. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's not as well known as some of the other ones we've been talking about, but I caught it on Netflix a few years ago, and I thought it was pretty good. And it's kind of a found footage film, Alien Abduction. It's about a family vacationing and they're camping out there in the Brown Mountain down there, and there's some type of phenomenon called the Brown Mountain Lights, and it's North Carolina. They're camping, and then they just kind of encounter these things while they're out in the woods. If you haven't seen it, man,
I haven't seen that.
Check it out. It's actually a pretty good movie. I actually really enjoyed it. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out too. I don't know. I think that's all I had on my list that I can think of. Do you think of anything else?
We talked about the Alien ones. We definitely had to mention that. There's been a lot of other good ones that have come out. Like Super 8. I don't know if I'd consider that a horror movie though. That might have been more along the lines of Goonies.
I don't know. I like that one.
Well, I liked it a lot too.
If you say Super 8, you have to talk about what was the one with the name of the movie was the road that they were filming it on, because Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, Cloverfield. Whoa. Yeah, that's true. That's Alien, right? Came down
Yeah.
and started attacking. I remember that trailer. I remember seeing that trailer, and everybody was thinking that was Godzilla.
Yeah.
They had announced,
Well,
or even Voltron. People were like, "Is that a Voltron movie?" You know, it was so
well, it was
shrouded
so
in secrecy.
secretive, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
And did you know that it was named Cloverfield because that was the name of the road that they were filming off of?
I heard something like that.
Yeah, that was
Um,
how where the name came from, which was
and then
crazy.
and now they've kicked off that using that name as a banner, Cloverfield. You know, we had gosh, that is escaping me now. The one with the sequel, but it wasn't a sequel because with John,
Oh yeah, that was crazy too. He was
yeah,
scary at
he
first.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? Oh my God. What's his real name?
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then they had the Cloverfield Paradox, you know what I mean? That came out
Yeah.
a few years later after that.
Yep.
So they're all I like those Cloverfield movies.
Yeah.
There's another one that's pretty good that has Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Life.
Oh yeah. I like
That
that
one I
movie.
would say that's a scary movie too. And
Yep.
then it ended pretty bleakly. You
That was
know,
when the
that
little
thing.
thing gets in them or whatever. The
Yeah,
like Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds one. Yeah.
Yep. And then at the end, you know, the escape pod comes,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, it's not actually the things in the escape pod. All those people are coming to help, you know, and it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
don't do it.
So Earth is gone. That's what that
Yeah,
told me.
pretty much,
And
man. Pretty much.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
would you put Starship Troopers on there?
I would not. I would not. I thought I liked Starship Troopers. I
Yeah, I
liked it.
did too.
I
I did
really
too.
did like it, but I wouldn't say that's a horror film. I definitely think that's more, just like I would say Predator. You know what I mean? Sci-fi horror. I mean, I get, but you know, some people could feel it, find it horrific. But
Yeah.
to me,
Well,
it's more of a genre and
yeah,
maybe a
like an
sci-fi
action.
action adventure.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's several of those. Have you watched any of the other ones?
no,
No, me either. Me either.
I think
I think the
maybe
first one
Starship
was good
Troopers
enough.
2. I might have caught that years ago, but then
Yeah.
I saw the first one in the theater. It was good on a Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Whenever I remember when I saw it. Yeah.
it was a good movie though, man.
It was good. I liked it a lot, dude. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed that one. It was, and
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but no, I think that we've talked a lot about some good ones just to get everybody primed up. You know, for Nope coming out here next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, maybe if we do this sci-fi horror thing again, we talk about some of our favorites. Hopefully, Nope makes the list. I
Yeah.
do hope
I hope
that
so.
this is not going to be like the third movie will be a bust. You know what I mean?
I hope
Maybe,
not, man.
yeah, that would be
It
bad if
does
this
look
is the
like
case.
there's a lot of comedy in this one. Have you noticed that from the more the newer trailers that it's like a you can see that comedy in there, but
I
they
think all
still
of
aren't
them have
showing
to
a
have it.
lot.
Right, they haven't shown a lot, but I think there's been a humor in
Yeah. Well, you have to have a little bit
unexpected
of humor in
ways.
them.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a lot of his films. But
Yeah.
well, I think that brings us to a close for that. I know there's a couple other topics that we wanted to discuss before we break.
Yep.
A couple things that uh, maybe we even talk about it in its own thing. I know the Monsters trailer just dropped.
I was gonna say, let's go ahead and get this part out of the way.
Yeah, man. I know you've been really excited about this movie. Rob Zombie's your
I
boy.
have
You're a
because yeah.
fan, and just we both have been really kind of anxiously waiting to see what kind of film it was going to be. Was it going to be PG? Was it going to be R? A few weeks ago, it was announced that it was PG. Okay, great. That's fine. Trailer dropped. What yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Jason, the floor is yours.
All right. Let me give a little background first on the whole Rob Zombie thing. House of a Thousand Corpses, his first movie, is my all-time favorite horror movie. You know, beats all of them, beats Exorcist, everything. And people probably think I'm crazy, and some people probably agree. Who knows? But I loved it because it was realistic, it was gory, it was kind of cheeky. It gave you the uh kind of like an old grindhouse type feeling to the movie. I love the way he filmed it, man. I just absolutely loved it. I love the music that went with it. I always liked Rob Zombie because not just the music, but the videos he would put out were almost like short horror films.
Yep.
And so that was a great movie. And I don't know them in chronological order. I can't remember it now, but I know that everybody, even people that didn't like House of a Thousand Corpses, loved The Devil's Rejects. And I think it's great too. I don't like it more than House of a Thousand Corpses. Um, then the what is the one, the Salem one?
Lords
Um,
of Salem.
Lords of Salem. Oh man, I don't know. I'm a Rob Zombie fan. I've watched it one time. Like I bought the movie to watch the DVD or
Okay.
Blu-ray. I don't know, but I bought it. I've watched it once because it was Rob Zombie. I watched it. It was okay. Um, and I always take up for Rob because he tries to cast the same people that were there from the beginning. That's kind of how I look at it. Plus, he adds in old horror icons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um,
Karen
I didn't.
Black, P. Wallace Stone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Hmm.
Um, and then Halloween I liked a lot. I loved his remake. The second one, and then he came out with the Three from Hell, the final in the trilogy from the House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. And a lot of people didn't like it because it didn't have much Captain Spaulding, but they, he came out later and said Captain Spaulding, who has passed away now, said, "Hey, his health was really bad, so you know he only filmed one day just for a few hours, and that was it." So Rob Zombie had to rewrite the entire script because it was supposed to have Captain Spaulding throughout the whole thing, and he did a decent job with it. It was decent, but this is something that as soon as it came out, and I was like, all right, he's got to redeem himself. Which way is he going to go? Horror, or is he going to go like a kids show or family show, I should say? And I heard he was going to the family way, and I was like, cool. It'll be kind of like Adam's Family. Well, it got a, like you said, PG rating. Adam's Family was PG-13. I said, that's odd. So there have been little pictures here and there from behind the scenes stuff, and like you said, the trailer comes out yesterday, and to me it looked terrible. I mean, like, seriously terrible, man, and I'm so upset about that because I know that he wants to make it like the Munsters. um I don't like the way that the film looks. I know he was trying to make it look like, at least I think he's trying to make it look like the older, Munsters type show, but it's just not there. The acting, man, I might get crucified for this, but it just isn't there, man. Not for me. Sherry Moon Zombie's acting didn't look good at all to me. This looked like a show that would, when you and I were kid in the mid '80s, somebody said, "Hey, let's try to bring the Munsters back, and look, we'll put it on Saturday mornings." And
Right.
they did it, and it wasn't good, so they canceled it after the first season. That's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, and so to give everybody a little, if you haven't seen it yet, it looks like the trailer is actually this a love story, a prequel almost to the Munsters is what this is, really. I mean, it's showing the creation of Herman,
Yeah.
and then he is it's the love story and how him and Lily Munster, is that right?
Yep.
Fall in love, and that answers a lot of questions. Everybody was kind of like, where's uh what's the little boy's name, Munster?
Eddie.
Eddie Munster and Marilyn. Everybody was like, "Where are
Yeah.
they?" There's been no announcements of the cast, and I guess we now know because they're not around yet, right? Eddie is not.
Yeah.
They're not even a couple yet. Herman and Lily, and Grandpa's obviously not a big fan of Herman, and so it's just an interesting premise that they took it. And I kind of was taken aback a little bit about it. I don't know if I hated it as much as you did. I know I was surprised by it because it seemed a little weird to me. Like it almost
Hmm.
wasn't a trailer at first. I don't know. It just
The
I can't
acting
I
looked
can't really
bad.
describe it. Yeah.
It
Um,
looked like the first read through. They got together for the first read through or something.
and I
Uh
know this is something he's been wanting to make because I remember he did an interview with recently or whatever. You probably already know this, being a fan of his. When he was making House of a Thousand Corpses, they sat down and said, "Oh, what's the next movie you want to do?" He was like, "The Monsters." So he's been
yeah.
wanting to do this movie. He wanted that to be a second movie. I mean, he's been wanting to do this movie for years and years and years and years. So it's not like he didn't have time to prep a script for it. You know what I mean, or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what it does, what the
I
reviews
saw,
are.
well, the actor that plays grandpa in this one. First of all, let me just say that Gomez and Morticia are the only love story from something like that we ever need to know about. That's a true love story. Anyway, the the actor that plays Grandpa,
Daniel Roebuck.
Yeah, in one of his interviews that I read, he was upset because he didn't know that that Rob Zombie was gonna film it like that, and he doesn't like it. It hasn't even
Really?
come out yet. Yeah, he's already said that he doesn't like it. He wished he
Whoa.
hadn't. That he wished he hadn't have done it.
No way.
Yep.
That's like big news out there if the actor's saying that he didn't want to do the movie.
Yeah.
What? You are breaking the internet with that one, my friend.
Yep. Said that he did not like it.
Interesting. Wow, he's already poo-pooing the film.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out then. But no, it comes out in September, they said. So
yeah.
I mean, we'll
don't get me wrong.
enough.
Yeah, we'll watch it, and it's going on Peacock, right?
Peacock. It's either Peacock or Netflix. They haven't really specified.
Yeah, and it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something. So, but that again, we may end up seeing Eddie Munster, because we might see the kids, because it's a 2 hour and 40-minute long movie. So maybe what the trailer they showed was just like the first half hour.
Right.
You never know. But I hope it gets better than that.
We hope so, man. I know we will. Guys, please stay tuned here. We'll be reviewing that movie as soon as it comes out in September for sure.
My junior high school drama class did better productions of what I saw in that trailer.
All right.
Saying. It was bad, man. It was bad.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see for sure.
Well, but I may eat my hat. It may turn out to be a great movie.
That'll be a nice surprise. Sometimes those make the best movies when you go in there with low expectations.
Let's see. Resident Evil series came out today on Netflix. Did you see that?
Right. I have not watched it, but I do know it came out, so I'll definitely check that out. I actually still haven't watched the movie Resident
Which one?
Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
I haven't either.
That came out I think maybe in the fall.
There's been so many. I don't know which one that I should watch.
I saw all the ones with Mila Jovovich.
Like the animated ones and stuff. So
yeah, no, I haven't seen any of those. I did see the majority of the ones that came out with Mia, or Mila. I saw those, but I haven't seen the reboot, and nor have I seen the series. I did read a review on it. I like Lance Reddick, the guy who's actually the main star, plays the Doctor. So I'll definitely check it out for sure.
So is Raccoon City, is that supposed to be more like the original video game?
I think so,
because that's what I like. I love that video game on. Was that just PS1 or?
Yeah, I think it might have been PlayStation.
Remember that had like actual video footage of certain shots, and then all of a sudden, like he'd be going down through the hallway, and it would just, the screen would go black, and then you'd start hearing like the glass break, and there's this Doberman jumping through, and that was a scary game.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I think it might be a decent. It's after all this happened and the world had an apocalypse. That's when this takes place, after all of that.
Right. And even the show, the series takes place, it tells two stories. It tells when they very first come to wherever they're coming to, this family moves there to that laboratory neighborhood or whatever, where everything's kind of self-contained.
Oh yeah, that's a great place to move to.
Right. And then it also tells the story 20 years into the future.
Okay.
Of where the apocalypse has happened and all of that stuff. Right. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. And I heard that you needed to be really more familiar with the game in order to really kind of be able to piece some of the story together. If that makes any sense. So, and I have not played all of the games. So, but I'm still gonna watch it. And I think I mean, I hope they wouldn't do that. I mean, I think they, to where they would alienate people who have not played the game.
I've played a couple of them, but maybe 2 or 3. But see, HBO Max is getting ready to do a Welcome to Derry.
Yes, I saw
the prequel or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be interesting too.
It's
just trying to. I hope some of these are just. I hope there's actually really good stories that can be told from that, right? Not just a cash grab, because when these movies make as much as they do, and there's only 2 parts, they're like, how else can we?
We've talked about that in the past. Let's make some more money.
Make some more, and it's like, don't try to make it until it's dry. But I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good.
I wonder if they'll get like the writers that did Castle Rock. I think that would be pretty cool. I love that, man. I guess they're not making any more series of that.
No,
There was only
it got
two.
canceled. Yeah, they got
I
canceled.
love that, man. I
I
thought that was
enjoyed
great.
season 1 for sure. I didn't see season 2.
You didn't?
No, I
That's
need
cool
to.
because it has Dolores, or not Dolores Claiborne. It has Annie from
Misery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I like the
You'll like
actress.
that. Yeah,
I like the actress who plays her in the movie or in that series.
yeah.
You know, so I definitely need to. I definitely want to watch. She was in that girl was in whatchamacallit, True Blood for
Oh,
a
see,
season or two.
I didn't really watch much of that. Only a little parts here and there.
Lizzie Kaplan was her name.
Yeah,
You didn't watch True Blood?
just a couple of scenes here or there.
Oh, okay. I can imagine which ones you did. I was surprised you didn't watch that show.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was good.
I could probably go back and watch it. When that came out, like right after like Twilight and stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. And I was like, oh, this is like the porn edition of Twilight.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, that came out. I remember Twilight had been out, and then Vampire Diaries and True Blood both came out within 6 months of each other, also.
Uh-huh.
And they're kind of riding high on the vampire boom of the 2000s there.
I just watched the show Jen and I did, and it was a little bit like freaky. Oh gosh, who was it? Who's the guy who played Thanos?
Oh, Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Open Range. You told me about that. And while I was on vacation, somebody else mentioned it to me. And I was like, my buddy Jason told me it was good. So all right, that's
and I think it's only like 8 episodes or something like that. It was pretty decent.
You enjoyed it, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll definitely jump on that because we're actually looking for a show to watch now. So
yeah, you guys would enjoy that one.
Oh man.
Let's talk about one real quick that I know that you won't enjoy. And I told you not to watch it, but I watched it and loved it. Mary Ann.
Tell us something about that.
Yeah, so this is a foreign movie. It's dubbed, but I'm telling you right from the beginning, this is like witchcraft, possession, demons. It's gory. It's excellent. I absolutely loved it. I told you my jaw dropped almost every episode of something that was happening. Wow. It was just awesome. And that's when after I watched maybe half of the first episode, that's when I sent you the message, said, do not watch this movie. I said, I'm watching it now. And it was whatever I said, like demonically awesome or something like that. So, but I knew,
look it out.
It wasn't your type.
So guys, thank you very much for sticking with us throughout this episode. We definitely appreciate it. It was jam-packed. Had a lot of things we wanted to share with you. Very excited about Nope coming out next week. We'll of course be watching that and reviewing it. We'll also be breaking down Stranger Things. We did not have time to get into that tonight with you guys. Jason and I both watched it, both finished it up, and I don't want to speak for him, but I think we both really, really enjoyed it. And very excited to get into that with you guys. And I'm really anxiously awaiting season 5 already. I thought it was awesome. So we'll get into more as we go along.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys like some of these movies we talked about. These are some of our favorite sci-fi horrors that we enjoyed. Go back and check them out. Just talking about it, like I said, makes me want to go back and revisit some of them, specifically Dark Skies, and also The Fourth Kind, which I have not seen, so I don't know that out.
Yeah, definitely. Good ones on that list.
Yeah, man. Well, Jason, my friend, it's been a pleasure as always. Guys, thank you very much for watching us. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, follow us, comment, let us know what you think of the show. We're more than happy to implement any ideas you guys have.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, listen to us on your favorite podcast and streaming service. We're everywhere.
Indeed, we're everywhere, always watching.
Well, speak for yourself.
Exactly. All right, guys. Listen, thanks again. Jason, you take care, my friend.
All right, Lee. Next time, man.